what OEdit, the state, is providing is the ability for we already have a pricing on a sliding scale. So depending on the size of the business, um, the price of our services will vary. On top of that, what the state is providing is a 50 to 100% discount on our services. So the smaller the business, the lower the cost, and on top of that, the higher the discount. So it can be as low as free to work with us to sell to employees. That said, there still is a need to work with lawyers and accountants, so there can be some extra fees, but those would be comparable to most sales. So as we just said, we'll do an assessment of feasibility, and we'll look at what does the market look like? What does the industry look like? Is the profit that we're making now, will that continue? What do we think the company is worth? What is a good sale price based on the capacity of employees to pay? How do employees feel about this transition? What do they think will be the challenges, so we can better plan for the next steps? And how should we structure this more technically? The second part is, as we said, workshops, connection with legal support, accounting support, and assistance throughout the transaction. The reason we do a feasibility study is really to assess if the conversion is a viable option. The last thing we want to do is sell a business to employees who can't sustain it. So we want to paint a picture of where the business is now and address the concerns of both the employee owners and the employee buyers and the owners going into this transaction. And we're setting the stage for the next steps. So it really adds to the ability to understand the transaction early on and quickly move through the steps after we've done that stage. So who is covered by this funding? It's everyone except the green. So anyone in the Front Range, these counties, are excluded from our particular funding with OEdit. There are other services that are available to them, but as we know, you both are in Custer County, so you are covered by this funding. And for anyone watching the recording, all other areas in other colors are as well. This is what the funding we're talking about today is in addition to a tax credit, which covers up to 50% of the out-of-pocket costs. So let's say after discount, somebody works with us on whatever comes out of their pocket to work with us, also whatever comes out of their pocket to work with lawyers, accountants, anything related to the conversion, there will be a 50% tax credit. So let's say we have an LLC with 2 owners, 8 employees, and they want to sell 20% of the business to 3 key employees as a first step. So we don't need here to sell 100% of the business. It just needs to be 20% or more as a first step or as a second step, wherever we're starting at, but it has to be 20% or more. Let's say they have a gross revenue of $310,000 a year. For the first phase of the feasibility study, our normal cost for this size of business would be $15,000. With the scholarship, that goes down to $7,500. On top of that, we have the tax credit. So really, at the end of the day or the year, really, when they get the tax credit, the business has only paid $3,750. For the conversion, the whole part where we do the education, the structuring, everything, that we usually would charge $10,000. For this size of business, and with the OEdit scholarship, we would go down to $5,000. When we add the tax credit, really the business has only paid $2,500. Now, if we were to look at a co-op, let's say there's an LLC, 1 owner, 7 employees, and they want to sell 100% of their business to 5 of the employees as a cooperative. Let's say we have a slightly lower revenue. We would look at a price of normally $7,000. So it's much lower for a smaller business. That goes down to $1,750 because actually OEdit covers, at this size of business, covers 75% of our costs. And on top of with the tax credit, we're looking at under $1,000. For that same business, earlier we had looked at $10,000. The conversion in this case would be $8,000. We go down to $2,000 thanks to OEdit, and plus a tax credit, we're looking at $1,000.